Sorry I'm late. Traffic was crazy on Michigan Avenue, Lily Martinez said hurriedly as she slid into the back seat of the black sedan. Her eyes glued to her phone, calculating whether she could still make rent this month. When silence lingered, she glanced up to discover not an Uber driver, but a striking man in an expensive suit gazing at her with a blend of surprise and amusement. Oh my goodness! Lily inhaled sharply, her hand darting to cover her mouth. This isn't my Uber, is it? I'm afraid not, the man replied, a hint of amusement dancing in his blue eyes as they crinkled slightly at the corners. While I've been labeled in various ways, being called an Uber driver is a first for me. Lily clutched the door handle, a wave of embarrassment flooding her. I sincerely apologize. My app indicated a black sedan, and I simply assumed, it's pouring out there. He cut in, gesturing toward the window where rain hammered against the glass. Where were you going? I can give you a ride. No, that's not necessary, Lily protested, though the idea of standing in the rain for another 10 minutes was far from enticing. Her battered canvas sneakers were thoroughly drenched. I insist, he declared, reaching out his hand. James Blackwood. She paused briefly before accepting his handshake. Lily Martinez. Well, Lily Martinez, think of this as your fortunate evening. This mix-up just saved you $20, and I could use some good company. There was something about his smile that felt sincere, even amidst the evident affluence that enveloped him, from his impeccably tailored suit to the luxurious leather seats. Despite her reservations, Lily provided him with her address in Logan Square. Long day, James inquired as the car merged into the bustling evening traffic of Chicago. Double shift at the cafe followed by art class, she responded, her attention drawn to the coffee stains adorning her jeans. Nothing glamorous. Are you an artist? I'm working on it. The coffee job covers the expenses, mostly. The rain formed a snug embrace around them as they drove, the city lights smudging through the damp windows. Despite their clear contrasts, the dialogue unfolded effortlessly. James inquired about her art with sincere curiosity, while Lily felt intrigued by the man behind the fortune. So what does James Blackwood do when he's not saving stranded baristas? She inquired. Real estate development, though that makes me sound more intriguing than I truly am, he remarked with a humble grin. A family enterprise. It must be nice to have everything figured out, Lily said, reflecting on her own ambiguous future. Absolutely clear. Fulfilling? He let the question linger as they approached her street. The car came to a halt in front of her building, a worn 3-story walk-up that appeared particularly dilapidated beside his sleek vehicle. This is me, she said, collecting her belongings. Thanks for the ride and for not assuming I was trying to kidnap you or anything. The thought crossed my mind, he joked, but kidnappers don't usually express such gratitude. Lily laughed, taken aback by her own reluctance to conclude their fleeting meeting. Well, thanks again. Perhaps our paths will cross again, Lily Martinez, James remarked as she stepped out. Chicago's a big city, James Blackwood, she replied, shutting the door behind her before sprinting through the rain to her building. Once inside her apartment, Lily tossed aside her soaked shoes and recounted the peculiar encounter to her roommate Rachel. You entered a vehicle belonging to someone you don't know? Rachel exclaimed. He could have been a serial killer. He was definitely more billionaire than killer, Lily replied, slipping into dry clothes. Furthermore, it led to nothing. Just a strange tale to share. At that moment, James stepped into his penthouse, and his driver, Alfred, pointed out something unusual in the back seat. Sir, it seems someone forgot this, Alfred remarked, presenting him with a tattered sketchbook. James opened it, discovering a series of breathtaking illustrations, cityscapes that showcased the overlooked aspects of Chicago, portraits of weary service workers, and urban scenes that unveiled the beauty found in daily challenges. The final finished illustration depicted a rain-soaked street corner, the exact place where he had first met her. He gently ran his finger along her signature in the corner, a smile creeping onto his face. It seems destiny orchestrated their encounter in the end. As he perused her sketches, James was struck by a feeling he hadn't encountered in years. A true sense of inspiration. This unexpected meeting with a woman who perceived the world in a way that starkly contrasted with those around him could be just what his hollow existence required. "Alfred," he said, gently closing the sketchbook, "I believe we'll be visiting a cafe in Logan Square tomorrow." "He's back again," Rachel murmured, gently prodding Lily as she frothed the milk for a latte. "Another wealthy patron. This marks his third visit this week." Lily looked up as James Blackwood stepped into Beans and Dreams, clad in a perfectly tailored navy suit that likely exceeded her monthly rent. He had been handing back her sketchbook when he first visited the cafe a week prior, and somehow he kept discovering excuses to come back. "Just a customer?" Lily whispered to herself, though she couldn't shake the flutter of excitement in her stomach. "Understood. And customers always look at you like you're the only barista in Chicago," Rachel teased. James walked up to the counter, sketchbook in hand. "I believe this belongs to you." "You could have just left it," Lily replied, accepting it with a smile. "You really didn't need to go out of your way and skip the chance to experience the finest coffee in Logan Square?" He responded, motioning toward the unassuming chalkboard sign. "What do you suggest?" Their fingers grazed as she passed him his cappuccino, and the fleeting touch resonated as they locked eyes. "Do millionaires usually take the time to return lost items themselves?" Lily inquired, as her break finally arrived and he extended an invitation for her to join him. "Billionaire, actually," he corrected with a playful wink, then swiftly added, "That was a joke." "Was it?" she countered, arching an eyebrow. James gazed into his coffee cup. "I wanted to see you again. Is that really so unexpected? Given that I practically caught you off guard in your car?" "Just a bit." In the following weeks, James turned into a familiar face at the cafe. Lily discovered that he was the head of Blackwood Enterprises, a real estate development firm founded by his grandfather. Despite her initial reservations about their contrasting backgrounds, she felt an undeniable attraction to him. One Tuesday afternoon, during a lull in business, her brother Miguel visited the cafe and quickly spotted James in the corner, engrossed in his laptop. "Is that him?" Miguel inquired, his brow furrowed. "The car enthusiast you mentioned?" "Be kind," Lily cautioned, as she made the introductions. Miguel's handshake exuded confidence. "What are your true intentions regarding my sister?" "Miguel," Lily exclaimed. "That's a fair question," James responded with a composed demeanor. "At this moment, I'm relishing the opportunity to connect with someone who perceives the world through a different lens than mine." Miguel appeared unfazed. "Individuals like you often regard those of us as mere curiosities." "Individuals like me?" James inquired. "Affluent tourists wandering through working-class areas," Miguel replied candidly. James contemplated this. "I deserve that doubt. But I'm not here for a genuine experience. I'm present due to your sister's remarkable talent and captivating nature." Following Miguel's departure, Lily expressed her regrets. "He tends to be quite protective." "He ought to be," James responded. "If I were him, I'd have my doubts as well." Later that week, James reached out to Lily with a surprising inquiry. "There's a charity gala for the Chicago Arts Foundation happening this weekend," he mentioned. "Would you come with me?" Lily paused, contemplating her response. "I don't really have anything fancy to wear. Just put on whatever feels right for you." "That's simple for you to express. You likely emerged into the world adorned in cufflinks." James chuckled. "I'll swing by to pick you up at 7 o'clock on Saturday." When she hung up, Rachel let out a joyful squeal. "A gala! We must locate the perfect dress for you." At the same time, James stepped into his mother's penthouse on Lakeshore Drive for their weekly dinner gathering. "You're distracted," Victoria Blackwood noted, her gaze fixed on her son as she swirled the wine in her glass. "The discussions regarding the Henderson property? No, those are acceptable. So, what comes next? You've looked at your phone 6 times. James paused. "I invited someone to the arts gala," Victoria said, her interest piqued. Senator Wilson's daughter has been eagerly anticipating your call. No, someone new. Her name is Lily Martinez. She's an artist. Victoria's expression grew tense. I don't remember that name from the foundation board. She isn't part of any board. She works at a coffee shop in Logan Square. Victoria placed her fork on the table. A barista? James, please tell me this is a joke. She's incredibly skilled. You have to check out her creations. And what will the board think when you arrive with your barista? James corrected. And I don't care what they think, his mother sighed. Alexander Wentworth will be there. We are currently in the process of negotiating the Riverside merger. Now is not the moment for diversions. Lily isn't a distraction. Then what is she? James remained silent, not ready to respond. How could he articulate that in the cold, methodical realm he lived in? Lily was the first genuine experience he had faced in years. On that Saturday, Lily found herself standing before her bathroom mirror, struggling to recognize the reflection staring back at her in the black dress that Rachel had urged her to borrow. You look incredible, Rachel said, tweaking the neckline. You should be in a gallery, not behind the counter serving lattes. That's the issue, Lily responded. I don't belong in his world. The buzzer sounded, and moments later, James entered her modest apartment, appearing both out of place and entirely at home. You look stunning, he remarked with ease. In the car, Lily's anxiety intensified. I've never experienced anything like this before. Just keep in mind, James said, holding her hand, that many of these individuals care more about their image than truly valuing the art. You possess more knowledge about art than most of them could ever hope to. Is that meant to comfort me? No, he confessed with a grin. But it's true. As they arrived at the radiant venue, Lily inhaled deeply. She was on the brink of entering James's realm, uncertain if there would be a space for someone like her. At the threshold of the Chicago Arts Foundation Gala, Lily paused, momentarily daunted by the dazzling throng. Women in exquisite gowns and men in impeccably tailored tuxedos mingled beneath shimmering crystal chandeliers, their laughter blending with the gentle strains of classical music. Everyone staring, Lily whispered to James. Because you're the most beautiful woman here, he said, his hand gently resting on her back. Or perhaps it's because my dress is more affordable than their cocktails. James leaned in closer. There's a hidden truth about these gatherings. Half the attendees feel just as uneasy as you do. They're just better at hiding it. As they stepped inside, a statuesque woman with shimmering silver hair glided over. James, darling, we missed your presence at the board meeting. Margot, allow me to introduce you to Lily Martinez. Lily Margot Pearson, the chairwoman of the foundation. Margot regarded Lily with a well-rehearsed smile. How delightful! And what brings you to know our James? Just as Lily was about to bring up the cafe, James interjected. Lily's an extraordinary creator. You must experience her urban landscapes. An artist. How invigorating it is to have a creator in our midst instead of mere admirers. Do enjoy the evening. As Margot floated away, Lily let out a breath. That wasn't so terrible. See, you belong here as much as anyone. James introduced her to several guests, his hand lingering protectively near hers. Whenever the discussion shifted to family ties or financial assets, he adeptly steered it toward subjects that would engage Lily. At the bar, as James engaged with an elderly couple, Lily caught snippets of conversation from two women nearby. That's the date of James Blackwood, one murmured behind her champagne flute. It seems she is employed at a coffee shop. How charming. Victoria must be in quite the tizzy. You know how these affluent types are. They always have to have a cause to champion. Lily felt her cheeks flush, yet she maintained a calm facade as she took her drink from the bartender. Just ignore them, a voice said next to her. A woman in her 60s, her kind eyes sparkling with warmth, reached out her hand. I'm Eleanor Ward. I was a waitress when I met my husband 50 years ago. These vultures never change. With a sense of relief at the familiar presence, Lily offered her introduction. A creator. What's your medium? Eleanor inquired. Mostly mixed media. Urban landscapes, everyday people. I'd be eager to experience your creations at some point. The foundation is always seeking new viewpoints. Their discussion on art restoration was momentarily halted as a tall man with defined features stepped forward, his smile failing to convey warmth. I take it you're James's new friend, he remarked, offering his hand. Alexander Wentworth. Lily Martinez, she responded, aware of the way his eyes appeared to be assessing her. How did you and James come to know each other? Charity event. Community outreach. Honestly, I mistook his car for my Uber, Lily admitted. Alexander chuckled with an exaggerated volume. How refreshing. I must say James has always had an eye for the unconventional. As James rejoined them, an unmistakable tension enveloped the atmosphere. Wentworth, James acknowledged with a brief nod. Blackwood. Just getting to know your companion. Alexander's glass tipped. Dark red wine splattered across Lily's borrowed dress. How clumsy of me, Alexander remarked with a hint of insincerity. What a pity about your dress. Lily sensed the weight of all the gazes upon her, anticipating her response, eager to see her falter. Instead, she gracefully accepted the napkin James offered. Actually, it reminds me of a Rothko now, she remarked, dabbing at the stain. Far more captivating than just black. Wouldn't you agree? Eleanor chuckled, her amusement causing Alexander's self-satisfied grin to waver. You know, Lily continued, in art restoration we're taught that mistakes often reveal the true nature of what lies beneath. Wine stains on fabric, for instance, can expose the quality of the material or the person who spilled it. Several onlookers chuckled, but Alexander's expression grew serious. If you'll excuse me, he said with a rigid demeanor before turning on his heel and departing. When they found themselves alone, James gazed at her with admiration. That was brilliant. I spent my childhood with 3 cousins in a cozy 2-bedroom apartment. Lily shrugged. It takes more than spilled wine to rattle me. Later, while they were examining a sculpture, James's mother joined them. So this is the girl who's been keeping you from your responsibilities, Victoria remarked, her smile strained. Mother, allow me to introduce Lily Martinez. Lily, my mother, Victoria Blackwood. Victoria's gaze assessed Lily with a detached precision. How intriguing that James chose to bring you tonight of all nights, considering the delicate nature of the Riverside negotiations. I wasn't aware that business negotiations required date approval, Lily responded calmly. Victoria's eyebrow arched ever so slightly. You seem to have misinterpreted my intentions. I'm merely expressing my concern regarding potential distractions at such a crucial moment. I assure you, Mrs. Blackwood, genuine connection is never a distraction. Victoria's icy smile remained steadfast. How very philosophical. Do savor the rest of the evening. As she departed, James gently squeezed Lily's hand. I apologize for that. Is she always so warm and fuzzy? In truth, that was her being courteous. Typically, she skips the niceties. As the evening unfolded, Lily engaged in dialogue with various gallery owners, one of whom appeared truly captivated by her portrayal of her art. You possess a distinctive viewpoint, he remarked, offering her his card. Please provide me with some samples. We highlight new talent every 3 months. By the time they departed, Lily had gathered 3 business cards and an invitation to a more intimate gallery event. As they drove home, James gently grasped her hand. You truly shone tonight. I experienced a sense of being a fraud. You were the most genuine person there. Everyone could see it. As they arrived at her apartment, James accompanied her to the door. I ought to express my regrets on behalf of my mother, for Alexander, for everything, he said. You don't have to take responsibility for others. I wish to meet you again, James said, his tone gentler. Not merely at the cafe. Even though I clearly don't belong in your world? Perhaps it's my world that doesn't embrace me, he responded, leaning down to kiss her softly. As their lips connected, Lily sensed her final hesitations dissolving into the air. In spite of all the obstacles, their contrasting views, his mother, the evident challenges, there was an undeniable sense of correctness in this moment. "Good night, James Blackwood," she whispered as they separated. "Good night, Lily Martinez," he responded, ensuring she was safely inside before he turned to leave. Above, Rachel awaited with eager anticipation. "Well, how was it?" Lily brushed her fingers over her lips, lingering on the warmth of his kiss. "Complicated," she replied honestly, "but I think I'm in trouble." As Chicago's winter slowly gave way to spring, the evolving seasons mirrored the blossoming of James and Lily's relationship. Following the gala, they created a rhythm that connected their contrasting lives. Each Sunday, James would arrive in his more modest vehicle, a nod to Lily's unease with his affluence, and together they would discover the city. They meandered through the Art Institute, where James found himself taken aback by Lily's profound understanding of art history, even in the absence of formal training. "My mom cleaned offices at night," Lily shared as they gazed at a Monet. "The library served as a haven for me. I immersed myself in every book they offered on art." "You never cease to amaze me," James remarked, gazing at her with increasing respect. Lily welcomed James into her Chicago, showcasing the vibrant farmers markets where vendors recognized her, the community art spaces nestled in repurposed warehouses, and the hidden gem restaurants serving dishes that outshone his typical upscale dining experiences. "The finest tamales in Chicago," Lily proclaimed, guiding him to a quaint family-run establishment. "Miguel's wife's family is the owner." James observed her converse in Spanish with the elderly woman at the counter, captivated by the effortless way Lily engaged with others. In his realm, each encounter was imbued with strategy and intent. With Lily, everything felt wonderfully authentic. With the arrival of April, they found themselves seated on a bench in Humboldt Park, enjoying coffee from a thermos. "What draws you to real estate?" Lily inquired, observing him intently. "You don't often discuss your job," James paused. "It's primarily about family expectations. My grandfather was the one who founded the company. My father expanded it, and I was prepared from a young age to assume control one day. But if you could choose anything, I've always dreamed of establishing a foundation that champions community arts programs," he confessed. "Not merely supporting established institutions, but fostering neighborhood initiatives, public art, and providing studio spaces for artists who lack the means." "Why don't you?" "My mother believes it's not realistic. The board seeks standard development projects that promise dependable returns." Lily scrutinized him. "So you're allowing others to dictate the use of your influence?" The question hung in the air between them, awkward yet essential. Later that week, James astonished Lily by leading her to a deserted warehouse owned by his company. "What do you perceive?" he inquired as they lingered in the expansive chamber. Lily strolled through the space, her footsteps resonating softly. The natural light streamed in through the windows. High ceilings for larger installations. "You might consider allocating separate spaces for studios, while maintaining a shared area for exhibitions." James smiled. "That's precisely what I had in mind." "For your foundation?" "I've begun the paperwork," he replied. "You motivated me to move beyond words and take action." Their kiss in the sun-drenched dust of the vacant warehouse signified a new chapter, not only for them but for something greater than their individual selves. As their bond grew stronger, Lily slowly began to lower her defenses, inviting James to her brother's house for Sunday dinner. Miguel was still doubtful, yet he softened a bit when he noticed how James assisted their grandmother with her chair and interacted with the kids in his basic Spanish. "He's genuinely making an effort," Rachel remarked as they tidied up the table. "I know," Lily replied, observing James as he earnestly tried to grasp Miguel's fervent discussion about neighborhood zoning issues. The evening wasn't without its bumps. When James brought Lily to his mother's house for a mandatory dinner, Victoria's icy politeness barely masked her disapproval. "So, Lily, what do you have in mind for the future? What do you think?" Victoria inquired as they savored their dessert. "Surely you don't plan to stay a barista forever?" "I'm concentrating on my craft," Lily responded. "I am excited to announce that my first small exhibition is happening next month." "How delightful." "A hobby is important for young women." James tensed. "It's not a hobby, Mother. Lily is a talented artist," Victoria said with a slight smile. "Of course, dear." Later, while driving home, James offered his apologies. "She'll come around eventually." "Will she?" Lily inquired. "I don't know if I belong in the future she envisions for you." "Then it's fortunate that the future isn't hers to dictate," James responded, grasping her hand. By late April, their relationship had found a soothing cadence. James had designated a corner of his penthouse as a studio for Lily during her visits, while she reserved a drawer for him in her small bedroom. One evening, as the gentle spring rain danced against the windows of James's penthouse, they reclined on his couch, with Lily's head nestled comfortably on his chest. "I've never experienced these feelings for anyone before," James confessed, gently running his fingers through her hair. "You inspire me to improve myself." "Improve in what way?" Lily inquired, gazing up at him. "More genuine. Less focused on how things look and what others expect. You perceive the essence beyond the superficial." Their conversation was cut short by the sound of James's phone. He scowled at the display. "I need to take this. It's work." As he stepped away, Lily drifted toward the wall of windows that framed the city, captivated by the stark contrast in their lives, even while sharing the same Chicago. James came back, his expression clouded with concern. "That was our legal team. There's a situation regarding a property acquisition. Is there anything serious going on?" "No, just some unexpected complications. Nothing for you to worry about." 2 days later, Lily returned home to discover her landlord in the lobby, putting up notices. "What's happening?" she inquired, accepting the paper he offered her. "The building has been sold. The new owners are transforming it into luxury condominiums. You've got 60 days to relocate." Lily's gaze fixed on the notice, the company name at the bottom sending a chill through her veins. Blackwood Property Holdings, LLC. She dialed James without hesitation. "Did you know your company purchased my building?" "What?" "Unfortunately, that cannot be done. I am currently examining the notice." "Blackwood Property Holdings. That's a subsidiary, but we've acquired dozens of properties recently. Let me check into this." Lily spent a restless night contemplating whether it had all been a deception. By morning, James stood at her door, his expression serious. "I discovered the truth," he stated. "May I enter?" Rachel kept her distance while James elaborated. "The acquisition was driven by my mother and the board," he remarked, "while I was concentrating on the foundation. Alexander Wentworth is involved as well." "Did your mother purchase my building? What is the reason?" James appeared distressed. "To compel your departure. She believes you're diverting attention from the Riverside merger discussions." "And what do you think?" Lily asked, her voice unwavering even as her heart shattered. "I think it's unforgivable. I've already started the process to undo the sale, but it will require some time." "So what happens next? Are we merely pieces in a larger scheme?" "No," James declared with conviction. "This stops here. I'm restructuring the entire company, starting with the board." Lily shook her head. "James, this situation transcends our personal issues. There are numerous families residing in this building. I understand, and I will fix this, I swear. But you have to trust me when I say I wasn't involved in any of this." Lily gazed at the man she had fallen for, earnest and conflicted, standing in her simple apartment with his stylish shoes and vows of transformation. "I believe I require a bit of time," she finally expressed. "This is precisely what Miguel cautioned me regarding." Your world and mine aren't merely separated by neighborhoods, James. They function under entirely different principles. Lily, please, I'm not suggesting it's the end. I'm expressing that I require some time to reflect. Your family has left me without a home just to separate me from you. That's not normal. That's not okay, James said, taking her hand. Tell me what to do. Make it right, she said plainly. Not solely for my benefit, but for all. You're making a mistake, James. Victoria Blackwood paced her office, her stiletto heels clicking sharply on the hardwood floor. This merger with Wentworth Properties will double our market share overnight. James stood by the window, his posture rigid, and it would displace hundreds of families, including Lily's. That girl has clouded your judgment. Real estate isn't a charitable endeavor. It's business. It doesn't have to be cutthroat, James countered. Did you truly believe that pushing Lily out of her home would resolve our issues? Victoria perched behind her formidable desk. Alexander proposed it could assist you in redirecting your attention to what truly counts. Alexander Wentworth shows no concern for this company. He is focused on acquiring our resources. Does that barista truly care about you? Or is it just your money or influence that matters? Victoria took on a challenge. Her name is Lily, and indeed, she does. Unlike everyone else in my life, she sees me, not my bank account. James placed a folder on his mother's desk. I've instructed legal to halt all tenant evictions effective immediately. I'm also starting a review of the board's recent decisions. Victoria's eyes narrowed. You lack the necessary authority. Actually, I do. My grandfather's trust grants me controlling interest when I reach 30. My birthday was last month, remember? You sent a card but didn't make it to the dinner. This is about your father, isn't it? You've always held me responsible for his decisions. This isn't about my father. It's about the type of person I aspire to become. And it's not someone who destroys communities for profit. As James exited his mother's office, his phone vibrated with a message from Lily. Moving to Miguel's tomorrow. I need some time. In the meantime, Lily packed her belongings into cardboard boxes, tears clouding her sight. He truly didn't understand. Rachel inquired, carefully wrapping mugs in newspaper. He claims he didn't, Lily responded. I trust him. Yet, it remains true that his family enterprise has just evicted a whole building of individuals who lack the means to resist. But he's trying to fix it, right? Some things can't be fixed with money. Ratch. The following day, Miguel assisted in relocating Lily's necessities to his family's residence in Pilsen. Sophia transformed a corner of their living room into a makeshift studio for her creative pursuits. It's not much space, Sophia apologized. It's perfect, Lily assured her, even though her heart felt as cramped as her new quarters. For a fortnight, Lily turned a deaf ear to James's calls and messages, pouring her heartbreak and fury into her creative expression. She crafted her most impactful piece to date, a collection illustrating gentrification and displacement through the expressions of her community members. The elderly couple from 3B, the single mother from 2A, the immigrant family from the ground floor, all portrayed in vivid hues against the contrasting urban landscape. Upon receiving her call, the relief that washed over James was unmistakable. I've missed you, he said with a quiet sincerity. I've missed you too, she confessed softly. But James, what transpired? It revealed to me the stark contrast between our realities. I understand. I'm working on it. I've halted the evictions and ensured affordable rent for existing tenants even post-renovations. That's positive, Lily replied with caution. There's more. I've restructured the board. My mother is livid, and Alexander is withdrawing from the merger. Are you comfortable with that? James chuckled gently. Actually, I feel more vibrant than I have in years. I'm finally transforming the company into something I can take pride in. I'm glad, Lily said, but I still need time. 3 days later, an email arrived from Martin Green, the gallery owner she'd encountered at the gala. extending an offer for a small exhibition space for her new series. "This is monumental," Sophia exclaimed when Lily shared the news. "Did James set it up?" "I don't think so," Lily replied. "I sent my portfolio weeks ago." As she got ready for the exhibition, Lily immersed herself in finishing her collection. Painting served as her sanctuary amidst the tangled feelings surrounding James and her precarious living circumstances. One evening, while she toiled away in her improvised studio, Miguel entered with a cup of coffee for her. "You're truly talented, you know," he remarked, scrutinizing her most recent work, like something you'd see in a gallery. "Thank you," Lily beamed. "Hearing that from my toughest evaluator truly holds significant weight." Miguel sank into the couch. "So what's going on with Rich Guy?" "His name is James, and I'm not sure. He's attempting to make a difference, but I wonder if it's sufficient." "Change is challenging," Miguel remarked with contemplation, "particularly when you've never faced the need for change before." "When did you acquire such wisdom?" Lily playfully taunted. "For kids will do that to you," he grinned. "Look, I was doubtful about him. Still am. But a man who risks his family legacy for a woman, that's either true devotion or sheer madness." "Perhaps both," Lily sighed. 2 weeks prior to her exhibition opening, James sent a text. "Could we arrange a meeting? Neutral ground? The warehouse we explored?" Lily nodded, discovering him present in the space that was now partially renovated. Sunlight poured through the polished windows, casting a glow on the possibilities they had once envisioned. "What are your thoughts?" James inquired, his voice tinged with anxiety. "It's coming along," she said, keeping her distance even though she longed to be enveloped in his embrace. "Lily, I've implemented changes, significant ones. I've founded the foundation. The board gave their approval yesterday, though not without hesitation. But they did approve it. That's wonderful. And I've been collaborating with a community housing advocate to refine all our development plans. We're putting into action affordable housing requirements that go beyond the city mandates." Lily nodded, absorbing the information. "What about your mother?" "She's not talking to me," James confessed. "And Alexander Wentworth is spreading rumors that I've lost my sanity." "Have you?" Lily inquired, a subtle smile dancing at the corners of her mouth. "If caring about more than profit margins is insanity, then yes," he replied, stepping closer. "I long for you, Lily. These weeks without you have felt so hollow." "I've missed you too," she admitted. "But James, our backgrounds are so different. Your mother orchestrated making me homeless. That's not typical relationship drama. I understand, and I can't guarantee that my world won't attempt to intrude again. But I can assure you that I'll always prioritize us, choosing what is right over expectations or gain." Lily's determination faltered. "I must concentrate on my exhibition at the moment, but once that's done..." "Once that's done," James concurred, a glimmer of hope in his gaze. "I'll be there on opening night, if you want me to be." "I'd like that," Lily replied gently. The following morning, Lily found herself greeted by an unexpected guest at Miguel's residence. Victoria Blackwood. "Mrs. Blackwood," Lily said, taken aback to see the graceful figure of the woman on her brother's unassuming porch. "May I come in?" Victoria inquired, her voice tinged with an unusual hesitation. Inside, amidst the aroma of coffee and the clink of chipped mugs, Victoria examined the artwork adorning the walls. "These are truly exceptional," she remarked at last. "I appreciate it," Lily responded with a hint of hesitation. "I owe you an apology," Victoria said, her composure wavering just a bit. "My actions were unjustifiably aggressive." "What brings you here, Mrs. Blackwood?" Victoria let out a weary sigh. "James has entirely transformed the company. The board is in an uproar. Alexander has pulled back the merger proposal, and my son hasn't said a word to me in weeks." "I apologize for that," Lily remarked, her sincerity wavering. "Actually, you're not," Victoria replied with unexpected honesty. Maybe that's not the best idea. But the truth is, I've never witnessed my son advocate for anything like he does for you, and for his vision of what the company could become. That's the essence of James, Lily responded. He just required the freedom to embrace that side of himself. Victoria nodded thoughtfully. Maybe you've accomplished what I couldn't. Guided him to carve out his own journey, rather than adhering to his grandfather's. As Victoria departed, she paused at the door. He's changed since he met you, Miss Martinez. For the better. Just 3 days before her exhibition, Lily was met with another surprise, an offer to come back to her apartment, with a 2-year lease guarantee at her current rent. Did you set this up? She inquired of James during their phone conversation. I might have rushed the paperwork, he confessed, but the policy change impacts all existing tenants. As opening night approached, Lily stood anxiously among her showcased pieces. Observing gallery attendees examine her artwork, Miguel and Sophia moved through the crowd with a sense of pride, while Rachel distributed small cards containing Lily's details. James appeared right on schedule, his gaze locking onto hers from across the bustling room. As they approached one another, Lily sensed her heart's fragments coming together once more. Your creation is stunning, he remarked. You've captured something most people never see. That's the essence of true expression, she replied. Reveal to others what they have yet to discover. As the night drew to a close, the gallery owner came forward with delightful news. Each artwork had found a new home. To the same anonymous buyer, he added with a wink. That led Lily to suspect James's involvement. Later, as they strolled toward James's car, Lily confronted him. Did you purchase my collection? Not me, he replied candidly. Though I did place a bid on that piece of the rainy street corner where we met. Someone outbid me. Who would purchase an entire collection from an unknown artist? James smiled enigmatically. An individual who discerns brilliance at a glance. 3 months flowed like vibrant strokes on a canvas. Swift, vivid, and life-changing. Lily had returned to her apartment, now equipped with adequate heating and mended windows. Improvements James insisted were part of standard renovations for all tenants, though Lily suspected special attention had been paid to her unit. Her career had gained momentum after the exhibition, with 2 galleries requesting work for upcoming shows. She'd reduced her hours at Beans and Dreams to part-time, giving her more studio time. On a warm July evening, Lily sat on her fire escape, sketching the streetscape below when her phone rang. It was Rachel. Did you happen to catch the business section of the Tribune? What is it? Rachel inquired directly. I'm not one to delve into the business section. Well, your boyfriend is making headlines. Blackwood Air transforms the family legacy. They refer to him as the ethical developer. There's buzz surrounding his new community arts foundation. Lily smiled. She had witnessed James confront the board, his mother, and years of corporate culture to transform his company. Each victory had been hard-won. He's really doing it, she murmured gently. The piece highlights a prominent community arts center, currently in development in Logan Square. That's your neighborhood. Coincidence? He mentioned considering properties in that area. Later that week, James picked Lily up in his car, not the luxury sedan he usually drove, but the more modest vehicle he now used himself. I thought we could try that new Vietnamese place, he suggested, echoing Miguel's recommendation. Sounds perfect. Lily agreed, noticing something different about him, a lightness that hadn't been there before. Over dinner, James seemed distracted, checking his watch repeatedly. Are you running behind on something? Lily finally inquired. Apologies, he replied, appearing somewhat embarrassed. I have something special to reveal to you once we've finished our meal. I'm just thrilled. After they finished their meal, James took them to a well-known corner, the very place where Lily had accidentally gotten into his car months earlier. What brings us here? What do you think? She inquired as they came to a stop. Do you remember that rainy night? James asked, taking her hand. How could I possibly forget? I made a complete fool of myself. You changed my life, he amended. Right here. He guided her around the corner to a refurbished storefront, with expansive windows shrouded in brown paper. A small sign read, "Coming soon." What could this be? Lily inquired. James revealed a key. This marks the inaugural project of the Blackwood Community Arts Foundation. Within, the area has seen some renovations, with fresh paint adorning the walls and new lighting fixtures in place. Yet it remains evidently a work in progress. It will feature gallery space in the front, James explained, leading her through, with studios in the back and classes for neighborhood kids upstairs. We're collaborating with the local schools for after-school programs. James, this is incredible, Lily exclaimed, recognizing the possibilities. There's more, he replied, leading her to a side room. This area is designated for the inaugural resident artist. He switched on the lights, unveiling an immaculate studio, with northern exposure windows, ample storage for canvases, a sink for brush cleaning, and a cozy couch tucked in the corner. Is this for me? Lily asked, astonished. If you desire it. No strings attached. The committee of the foundation chose you based on your exhibition, which, by the way, I did not purchase. So, who acquired all my pieces? James smiled warmly. My mother, Victoria. But she despises me. She doesn't despise you. She was safeguarding what she believed to be crucial, the company and our standing. But your work had an impact on her. She mentioned that you revealed a perspective of the city she had deliberately overlooked. Lily shook her head in disbelief. So much has changed since that rainy night. Speaking of which, James said, leading her to the corner of the studio where a painting hung, her rendering of the rainy street corner where they'd met. Where did you find this? Lily inquired. It was purchased by your mother. She presented it to me as a gesture of reconciliation, James clarified. She's making an effort in her own way. Lily examined his expression. You've transformed her as well. We're discovering common ground. She's even taken a seat on the foundation board. Can you believe it? They lingered in a relaxed silence, taking in the space that embodied all their efforts and aspirations. This feels right, Lily said finally, using privilege to create opportunity instead of just more privilege. It was always the plan, James replied. I simply required someone to have faith in my abilities. Outside, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting elongated shadows across the street. James glanced at his watch once more. Just one more stop, he said with an air of intrigue. He drove them to Lake Michigan, where they strolled along the shore as darkness enveloped the scene and city lights danced upon the water. 1 year ago today, James remarked unexpectedly, a beautiful artist mistook my car for her Uber. It's been a year, Lily inquired, her surprise evident. James nodded, pulling something from his pocket. A small sketchbook. This was the first thing of yours I ever saw. He opened it to reveal her sketches from that night, including the rainy street corner. I realized at that moment that your perspective on the world was unique, he continued. You perceived elegance in the ordinary and potential in the face of challenges. He turned to a blank page where a small velvet box was affixed. James, Lily whispered as he took out the box and knelt on one knee. Lily Martinez, he said, his voice unwavering even as emotion flickered in his eyes. You entered my life unexpectedly, but choosing to be with you has been the most deliberate decision I've ever made. Will you marry me? The ring within was understated by Blackwood standards, a straightforward diamond encircled by smaller sapphires that echoed the blue of James's eyes. Yes, Lily replied without a moment's pause, tears streaming down her cheeks. Yes. As he placed the ring on her finger, she caught sight of their reflection in the water, two souls from separate realms, who had forged something unique together. Your mother is definitely going to have thoughts about the wedding, Lily cautioned as they shared a warm embrace. Without a doubt, James chuckled. But she'll simply need to adjust. It's what they do now. As she walked back to the car, Lily halted abruptly. Hold on. How did you know it was exactly a year ago? I don't even remember the exact date. James smiled. I checked my calendar after you left that night. Engaging in a discussion with L. Martinez. Unexpected consultation. Some meetings change everything. Meeting with L. Martinez, Lily repeated, leaning into him as they walked. I appreciate that. Feels like the start of a tale. It is, James responded, pressing a gentle kiss to her lips. And we're just getting to the good part. The sun painted golden streaks across Chicago's skyline as Lily adjusted a crooked painting on the gallery wall. 2 years had passed since James's proposal by the lake, and the Blackwood Community Arts Center was celebrating its official grand opening. Is everything just right yet? Rachel teased, bringing Lily a cup of coffee. Now the manager of the center's cafe, Rachel had proven surprisingly adept at running the small business. Almost, Lily replied, stepping back to survey the main exhibition hall. The space had undergone a remarkable transformation from the vacant storefront James had initially shown her into a lively community hub. The front gallery displayed the works of local artists. The back studios were home to resident creators, and the upstairs classrooms were filled with the energy of children exploring everything from pottery to digital design. It's astonishing to think this was merely a concept 2 years ago, Lily reflected. The journey of the center was fraught with challenges. Victoria found herself questioning the financial viability of the project, while the board expressed skepticism about placing community impact above profit margins. But James had persisted, demonstrating how ethical development could still be profitable, just with more modest returns and far greater social benefit. Lily glanced at her watch. Where is everyone? The opening starts in an hour. Just as expected, Miguel walked in, balancing a tray filled with his wife Sophia's homemade empanadas for the reception, while their children followed closely behind, now eager to assist with the grand occasion. Feeling anxious, Miguel inquired, setting down the food. A little, Lily confessed. This surpasses anything I've accomplished previously. You created an entire community arts program from the ground up, he noted. The exhibition is merely the icing on the cake. Lily beamed at her brother, appreciative of his newfound support for her relationship with James. Having seen James strive to revitalize his family business, including launching affordable housing initiatives sparked by their discussions, even Miguel had come around. The main doors of the center swung open, and James stepped inside, cradling a large wrapped package. Last-minute addition, he declared, placing it gently against the wall. Where should I put it? Lily pressed her lips to his in a swift motion. What is it? You'll find out at the ceremony, he said, a hint of intrigue in his smile. Has my mother arrived yet? Not yet, but she texted that she's on her way with Alexander Wentworth, surprisingly. James nodded. It's no longer a shock. They have been collaborating since the merger was finalized last month. The Blackwood-Wentworth merger ultimately took place, but under significantly altered conditions than initially envisioned. Instead of a corporate takeover, it evolved into a partnership centered on responsible development, featuring binding commitments to affordable housing and community spaces in all new projects. I still can't believe you turned your arch-nemesis into a business partner, Lily remarked. People can change, James said, straightening his tie. Some just need more convincing than others. As the hour approached, the center filled with guests, neighborhood families, local artists, business partners, and city officials. Victoria arrived looking elegant as always, but noticeably warmer as she greeted Lily with a genuine hug. The space looks wonderful, she said, surveying the gallery. You've done remarkable work here. Receiving a compliment from her once disapproving mother-in-law felt like the world had shifted in her favor. When it was time for the ceremony, James took the podium first, thanking everyone who had made the center possible. He spoke about the foundation's mission, the importance of accessible arts education, and the power of community spaces. But none of this would exist, he concluded, without the vision and determination of our executive director, who also happens to be my wife. Please welcome Lily Martinez Blackwood. Applause filled the room as Lily took her place at the microphone. 2 years ago, public speaking would have terrified her. Now, as she gazed upon the familiar faces, from affluent benefactors to local children, she was filled with nothing but gratitude. Art possesses the ability to unite disparate realms, she commenced. It reveals viewpoints that we may never encounter otherwise, and links us through divides that appear unbridgeable, she indicated, sweeping her hand across the gallery. This center exists because someone was willing to see beyond differences, to recognize that value isn't measured by wealth or status, but by how we enrich each other's lives. As Lily concluded her speech, James unveiled the mysterious package, revealing the original painting of the rainy street corner where they'd met, now framed in a simple black frame with a small plaque, where it all began, the corner of chance and purpose. This will hang permanently in our entryway, Lily announced, as a reminder that sometimes the most important journeys start with a simple mistake. Later, as guests mingled and children explored the interactive exhibits, James found Lily by the windows overlooking the neighborhood. Happy? He inquired, wrapping his arm around her waist. More than I ever thought possible, she responded. We brought something genuine into existence here. Outside the gallery's windows, they observed the community they had worked to protect and uplift, the local businesses thriving, the families remaining in their residences, the fresh public art installations illuminating previously overlooked areas. Do you recall when I called you out for mingling in working-class neighborhoods? Lily inquired. James chuckled. You weren't completely off. And now observe our current state. You're almost a socialist. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, he joked. I still have a nice car. Yes, but now you occasionally allow me to take the wheel, she replied. Victoria approached, interrupting their banter. The mayor is departing and wishes to bid farewell to you both. As James stepped away to handle the farewell, Victoria lingered beside Lily. I was wrong about you, she said quietly. You've been precisely what James required, what this family required. We discovered common ground, Lily responded. Reflecting on what James had previously mentioned, Victoria nodded toward the street corner painting. Is that truly where you crossed paths? By chance? Absolutely an accident, Lily affirmed. I believed his car was my ride. Victoria chuckled, shaking her head. Perhaps not entirely an accident. The universe occasionally knows what it's doing. As the evening wound down, Lily and James found themselves alone in the gallery. Tomorrow, the center would officially open to the public, but tonight, in the quiet aftermath of celebration, they had a moment to reflect. 2 years ago, if someone had told me I'd be married to you, running an arts center, and on speaking terms with your mother, I'd have said they were hallucinating, Lily said. And if someone had told me I'd restructure my entire company because a barista challenged my worldview, I'd have had them committed, James replied. They stood together before the painting of the rainy corner, the moment captured in time when a simple mistake changed everything. Do you ever ponder what might have unfolded if you hadn't stepped into that car by mistake that night? What do you think? James inquired. Lily took a moment to reflect on this. I believe we would have discovered one another in due time. Certain connections are simply unavoidable. Like inadvertently stepping into a millionaire's car and him becoming utterly infatuated, James quipped, alluding to the playful manner in which they occasionally recount their encounter. Just like that, Lily agreed, leaning into his embrace as they gazed at the painted street corner where their journey had begun. A single moment of chance that had created a lifetime of purpose.